Today, we are talking about recognition with a guest who has influenced how organizations around the world think about engagement and appreciation. Today, we have with us Debra Corey, and she's an award-winning HR leader, global speaker, and author of best-selling books. She's known for challenging outdated HR practices and bringing recognition back to what truly matters, meaning, humanity, and everyday behavior. Debra, it's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so let's start this conversation with a very interesting and very nice quote that I really love. That I was, researching about you, and saw this quote, and I just loved it. So you said, "Why we are spending all our recognition money on the top 3 to 5%? Why not to spread it like a peanut butter across everyone doing great work?" So I have a question for you, like, why do you think recognition becomes so exclusive, only for top performers, for those people who go the extra mile? And what happens to culture when we make it inclusive again?
Yeah, if I think back, and I've been in HR for a very long time, so I can remember these days. And when we started doing recognition, it really started out with the idea of long service. So that was probably the first recognition that we did. So we would celebrate people for being here 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So that's a small percentage. And then we thought we were getting better. We said, okay, now let's start celebrating the best of the best. And again, so that might add another 1, 2%. But to your point, add that all up, it's only 5%. And what I'm trying to do, and I know there's others out there who are doing trying to do the same thing, is to show that all of the benefits from recognition, why don't you, using that quote, I forgot I said that, why don't you spread it like peanut butter? Everybody out there is doing amazing things every single day. So why don't we start capturing all those moments and start celebrating them? It doesn't have to be with big financial awards or anything like that, but it can be as simple as a thank you.
Yes, I love that. I think the same. And I also see those numbers, which is just, for me, it's just terrifying. Like, for example, 65% of employees say that they don't feel appreciated, and 75% say lack of recognition is one of the main reasons they quit. Like 75%. And like, this is just, oh my God, for me, like, I don't.
Yeah.
I see it's a big issue. And where do you think the things are breaking down? Like, is it systems? Is it culture? Is it manager habits? Or something maybe even deeper?
Yeah, I mean, I think that fundamentally people need to start believing and understanding in the power of appreciation. So whether that's at a company level when we're designing, so people like me who design recognition programs who need to see the power of spreading it across the organization, but even as leaders. So it's interesting. I wrote 6 books, and I always write a book when I see a problem and I feel like I have a solution. So I wrote not just 1, but 2 books on appreciation because I felt in HR we needed to start redesigning our HR programs. I think we've got it backwards. I think, again, we start at the top instead of starting at that everyday recognition. But then my second book I wrote was for managers because it's all well and good to have these great formal recognition programs. But if leaders and managers don't make it a part of their everyday way of working, it's never going to change. So not just formal, but informal recognition is important.
Yeah, and this is actually something that I want to ask you also about this. Like you say that managers need to take ownership of recognition and also do those things by themselves, like every day, to have this kind of mentality. But what's the one mindset shift that managers must make to truly own the recognition in their day-to-day work? What do you think?
Do you know, anytime I talk to managers, I always start with the what's in it for me. So what am I going to get out of it as a manager? And for recognition, I mean, you shared statistics already, but probably the first chapter of my book for managers is always statistics. It can drive productivity, performance, sales, customer service. So I think it's that mindset shift. And I think that we need to make leaders understand that it's actually something that is going to help them help their people and help the organization. Sometimes I talk about it as superpower. It's going to all of a sudden turn your employees into superheroes because they're going to make them that much more effective.
And what is that shift? What they need to, you know?
Do you know, it's different for different people. So when I do workshops with managers, I always try to understand, like, why aren't you doing it? And some people, they don't believe in it. So for those people, you need to fill them with lots of facts and figures and things like that. But also, there's a lot of people out there who just don't understand how to do it. It's not necessarily something that is comfortable for them. So that's why I created a really, really simple mantra, which is see it, say it, appreciate it, just to help them understand. First, you have to look for these things. Then you have to learn how to say it in the most meaningful way. And then finally, you have to show appreciation in a way that is going to make the most sense for each individual person. And once they feel more comfortable with it, I hear managers come back to me all the time and say, oh, I get it now. I get it now. And I do it all the time.
Yeah, I know this. I also saw this kind of approach, see it, say it, appreciate it, which is it sounds very simple and I think it's powerful, but at the same time, I think it's very hard for managers to actually implement, especially the see it part, right? So why it is so?
I think it's because you get so busy. Two things. You're so busy doing things that you don't look around for all of these moments. And also, as humans, most of the things we see are when things go wrong. We're not intentionally and actively looking for the positive things. So, again, you said it earlier, we need to switch. We need to switch to focus on the positive. Absolutely continue looking for areas of development, but look for the positives. And if you don't see them to begin with, it doesn't work. But also, as a leader, you're not on your own. I call it a crowdsourcing approach. So get everybody else on your team looking for it. Have everyone put on, I call them your appreciation glasses. So, put on those appreciation glasses and start looking for it.
Yeah, it's amazing. I imagine, all those people just being happy and being, appreciating each other. But I think it's sometimes hard to say to HR people or to managers that this is going to happen and look, this is so amazing, but they sometimes need some kind of, numbers, sometimes results, like, okay, what about our productivity? What about our, results? So what do you say to them after they say to you this?
Yeah, I mean, at a really basic level, if you think about it, every time someone shows you recognition, it's telling you that what you're doing is the right thing to do, that it's good or it's great. So next time as an employee, I get in that situation, I'm going to be more quickly able to do that. I'm going to think, great, this is what I need to do. So it's a no-brainer that you're more productive because every time you get appreciated, it's like going to a training class. And even better, if you share these appreciation moments with your team, everyone else on your team is learning, oh, that's what good looks like. And they're going to jump and they're going to do that. So, from a productivity, absolutely positively. From a motivation perspective, I mean, science shows that when you genuinely feel appreciated, happiness chemicals are released, which are the same chemicals as when you eat chocolate. So, for any of those people who doubt it, give them a piece of chocolate and say, how does it make you feel when you eat a piece of chocolate? Isn't this how you want your people to feel? And again, the list goes on, but you just keep feeding them with this different types of data in different ways to turn them into that mindset so that they think, oh, I get it.
Nice. I see that this is really powerful thing, and we are kind of shaping the direction for people if we encourage to do more good thing, more good, work. We kind of shaping the direction, and they can just subconsciously do the right thing at the end. So this is amazing. But like, okay, so we see recognition is powerful tool, but uh, but still, like many organizations still treat it like a nice to have thing instead of a strategic priority. So why do you think organizations still say that it's just nice to have, not something that is like strategic priority?
again, I don't think they see the benefits. So I think you need to remind them of the benefits. And then also what I've done in companies, because it's never easy to put in place something. Again, something that, people aren't comfortable with. So I'm a big believer in getting other people out there in the organization to be my cheerleaders and my stakeholders and, getting different groups of people to get involved so that it's not just me out there saying this is the right thing to do. And by doing that, you're also then making it a part of the culture. I interviewed somebody once and they said that their boss used to, at the end of all of their team calls, have a session where they would recognize people. It just became, this is how we ended our call. And it became so much of a part of their culture that once the boss forgot, and all the employees are like, excuse me, aren't we going to do this? So to me, I love that example because it just shows how if you keep going and you keep trying and you get enough people involved, pretty soon it's going to be an expectation. It's not going to be, as you said, something that's just sort of not considered important. And I've seen it shift in organizations before. Again, if you don't make it complicated, if you don't focus too much on the monetary side, I think sometimes companies, and I've done it myself, we just make it too complicated, too process oriented, too bureaucratic. So just make it simple, easy, and then it just sort of flows. I know that sounds so easy. I know it's not that easy.
Yeah. Okay, and before we close, what is one small recognition habit anyone listening today can start just like right now, without no cost, without no approval, just like by themselves?
I guess the first thing is to be intentional about it. So it starts with that looking for it. So look for it and make it a habit. So anytime you see somebody do something, if you're busy, write it down. And then when you have time, deliver it. So I think intentionality is the most important thing because if you don't get past the see it, you're never going to do the other pieces. So yeah, open your eyes and be intentional and look for it. And
Yeah.
then as Nike says, just do it.
Nice, I love it. Okay, so Deborah, thank you. Your insights are very sharp, very bold, and very practical. And I hope our community, and I am sure our community will appreciate it. So, yeah, thank you very much for being with us, and have a nice day. And I am looking forward for the seventh book.
I'm started on it. Watch this space.
Nice. So I just wish you all the best of luck with it.
Thank you very much. You too.